you are an advocate of shooting in RAW. So tell everybody why. Why do you insist on shooting in RAW?
The biggest reason I like JPEG because you can, when you're looking at your LCD screen, it's a JPEG file, and it looks better, right? Like for instant, if you were just going to post something right onto social media or something. But as far as the technology, how fast things change, to have the raw image and within a year, just having the raw image could help you that much more with a new technology. And now when you get into it 10 years or 20 years down the road, and having the raw file has so much more information. But JPEG has its advantages. If you wanted to shoot a quick video just to send to a friend or something like that, you don't have to shoot that in RAW if you're not going to use it down the road.
Right. But as your business, in the gallery and in your sales depend on that. I mean, to have the full file, the full
That's
raw
right.
file, full information, that as technology gets better, which it always will,
Right.
You have the ability to manipulate that file with a greater depth.
For sure. It's always better to be safe than sorry, and to have more information, to have all that still as you shot it and stored somewhere is what you want to be able to go back to if it's 3 years down the road and now there's something that will assist you in making that image better.
Yeah, for sure. So you've mentioned a couple times, we talked just a little bit about it, a lot of your basis of your business and where you're at now is passing on your knowledge and guiding and teaching at the university and doing workshops and classes. Like we were talking about a lighthouse one that you have coming up.
That's right.
That you ride in helicopters with no sides and you're doing things that are really outside the box with your students. How is that continuing to challenge you as a photographer, as a creative, when you have, in your own words, you said, I have people who are very new to the industry, and I have some people that are excellent, excellent photographers.
Yeah,
like,
even better than me.
I wasn't going to say it.
That's fine. So when it comes to setting up workshops, there's a lot of people doing this, and there's actually big companies that do it, that hire photographers to go on location somewhere. So how do you make what you do, even if it's talking about your gallery, how do you make things a little bit different so that you have something? It doesn't have to be completely different, but have a little twist on it that people will be drawn to. So like the lighthouse workshop you were talking about, we do all the lighthouses from land, and I've been doing that. I grew up in New England, and this is a New England-based workshop. And so how do you make it a little bit different? So I came up with the idea of doing them all from land, which is always looking toward the ocean, which is looking east.
Yeah.
But to the point of, well, what if we want a different angle on that lighthouse? And what would make it more fun than just doing them from land? And so I came up with the helicopter, to do that, just exactly to do that. So we will use 2 helicopters usually, because my workshops are usually 4 or 5 people, and we'll have a couple people in the back seat, and we have to go around the lighthouses in both directions so that everybody has the same opportunity.
Yep.
And now you're getting shots from the ocean side, and you're usually having better lighting because we do this usually in the morning, and you have early morning sun, and it just makes it more fun, and it gives it a little twist and something a little different than other people that are doing lighthouse workshops. So
Yeah, for sure.
and that's just one example.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I try to do that with all my workshops, try to include something just a little bit different.
Yeah, and I'm assuming, to kind of bring this full circle, when you're teaching your workshops and working with students and getting them set up for success, as a nature photographer, I'm assuming that protecting your files and knowing what to do to not put them at risk is a piece of that. Like I remember when we were talking on the phone or on the Zoom call, you said, the first thing I do when I open my hotel room door is I plug in my batteries, and the second thing I do is I download my card. And to clarify for everybody too, once you download that card, you're not formatting it. You are keeping the card itself as a backup as well.
I usually do. So I have enough cards now where those will get just turned over, reversed, and put back into a slot.
Okay.
And just in case something were to happen, and then when I get home and I make sure I have that saved in a couple different areas, then I will clean the cards, but I don't clean the card until then.
Yeah. And then you also said that you only keep your cards for a period of time and then you sell them off, replace them with faster cards, newest technology, all that too.
Yeah, and I didn't start out doing that, but I do it more often now. And one of the other reasons I do that is I'm starting to do more video now, and video is requiring faster and bigger cards and stuff. So I like a card that's big enough to take care of the job, but I don't want to shoot for 4 days on it. So
Right.
I'm always looking for that sweet spot so that it can, and usually my cameras have two different card slots, and I try to dedicate one to video. So I make sure that video card is fast enough and big enough to handle that video part of it. But yes, once you get a couple years into these cards, there could be some degradation. So I'm trying to turn those over every couple of years.
Yeah. And another rule you have is you never process on the road.
No.
No. So again, just to make sure everybody heard that before, you don't do a lot of post-processing. You work a little bit in Lightroom, but you're not going in and highly manipulating the images.
Yeah.
But even that, you're not doing until you get back to the gallery.
Yeah, so what I found out when I used to, at the very beginning, when I printed my own stuff and I was processing with a laptop, is a laptop can, when you tilt a laptop a little bit, it makes a lot of difference. So to match what your print is from your laptop is extremely difficult. And I have a lot of people asking, well, I don't know why I can't get it to print. And that's just one of the many reasons, taking control from your printer and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, from your printer. But it's kind of a lot of factors involved in that.